Final Fantasy XIV was originally released in 2010, and I played that version. It was miserable, one of the worst MMOs that I've ever played. But rather than give up on this disaster, Square Enix did the unthinkable. They decided to give the project to a whole new team and have them rebuild it from scratch. The result is one of my biggest surprises of the year. Final Fantasy XIV, A Realm Reborn, not only makes up for the pain of having played the original version, it reminds me of why I cared about the Final Fantasy games to begin with. Final Fantasy XIV has 8 classes, and they all kind of fall into the typical MMO archetypes. You've got healers like the Conjurer, tanks like the Gladiator, and you've got damage dealers like the Lancer. However, there's way more flexibility in this system because you can switch classes anytime you want. Switching classes also allows you to unlock really powerful jobs. So for example, I leveled my Marauder up to 30, and then I leveled a Gladiator up to 15, and that unlocked the Warrior job. Each class and job feels suitably different, and with the ability to pull in skills from other classes, there's a lot of room for customization. Final Fantasy XIV's combat is very traditional. You have a bar of skills to choose from, some of which can be comboed together for greater effect, which helps teach players the ideal skill rotation. But you need to learn fast. By level 25, I was in dungeons where I was facing bosses that were on par with endgame raid bosses in other MMOs. The game expects every member of a group to know how to use their skills perfectly. My groups wiped a lot, but the rush of finally overcoming these bosses was well worth it. Final Fantasy XIV also pulls off something that a lot of MMOs have tried recently, but no one has really done successfully: controller support. A keyboard is still necessary for when you're chatting with party members, but I spent the vast majority of my time using a controller, and it felt perfect. Unlike most MMOs, the plot is a major part of Final Fantasy XIV. It takes place in Eorzea. It's a land that was nearly destroyed at the end of the first version of the game. A Realm Reborn picks up 5 years later. The game has plenty of those side quests that you see in other MMOs where it's, just go here, kill these things, but it also has this series of main story quests that provide a lot more motivation. It's got great characters, plot twists, and also tons of references to the past games. There's the materia system from Final Fantasy VII, there's Magitech armor from Final Fantasy VI, and there's even characters who look like judges from Final Fantasy XII. It even has an incredible soundtrack that's full of music calling back to classic Final Fantasy tunes. With all of this, I get the feeling that this wasn't just made by a completely different team, but one that truly loves Final Fantasy and understands why other people love it too. Going into A Realm Reborn with my past experience from Final Fantasy XIV, I never could have guessed how much Square would turn things around. It has great combat and class mechanics to appeal to MMO fans, and a great story for everybody else. But for Final Fantasy fans, it's something even more special than that. The original game was one of the worst games in the series. A Realm Reborn is energetic and exciting and unexpected, and it truly deserves the title of Final Fantasy.